So we're continuing our journey with the third part in our series of the Wheel of Awareness, especially relating it to conscious self. And in the first one, we looked at the Wheel of Awareness in general, especially in terms of meditation and meditative schools. In the second one, we really looked up the Wheel of Awareness in terms of neuroscience and got a little bit of quantum physics. And in this one, we're really going to look at the Wheel of Awareness in terms of parts work and especially reference it to soul work. So that's really our goal for today. And I'll just say a few words, and then the main part of today will be doing the practice of the Wheel of Awareness. And then we'll have time to sort of share on our reflections, since almost all of us have some, if not a lot, of familiarity with SoulWork. So we'll have a time to sort of share and integrate in, because I've thought about this a lot, and I want to begin to have us share to discover what our experience is and how we relate this practice to soul work, to our spiritual lives, to our psychological work that we each do in our own way. So when we start with the Wheel of Awareness, as we bring it to sort of parts work and soul work, we really begin with the breath and experiencing the wave of the breath flowing in and out. And we can see in soul work with the induction, that's very similar. And we really will change it a little bit. So we'll be aware of the inhalation as that process of charging and the exhalation as that process of releasing. So we'll expand or refine the Wheel of Awareness. We'll sort of adapt it to fit a different lens, a slightly different function. And then we bring our awareness. So now we're resting more and more in conscious self, the way we conceptualize this. We're this hub. And as we bring that awareness to the outer world, we're really conscious self. And just noticing all the things that we see, hear, feel, touch through the five senses. And that's something to strengthen the quality of conscious self as you go through your day. You can really imagine you are this localized sphere of awareness that's curious and compassionate and courageous, and that you're bringing that to the world. And you can invite any other selves or parts with you, or you can just ask them to step aside if they're too busy and distracting you. So the second quadrant in the Wheel of Awareness, we're bringing it to the body. And here in soul work, we'd use the word body self. So in the Wheel of Awareness, we'll bring it to body self, and especially experiencing these different aspects of our body self through the different organ systems and this body scan that comes in. And in soul work, we realize with any self or part that arises, there's always a pattern in the body, because the body is really the foundation of everything. As Freud said, the ego rests on the body ego, that felt, alive sense of ourselves. And in an earlier soul work class, we looked at their two bodies, the coarse body and the subtle body. The wheel pretty much goes towards the coarse body. You may have experiences of that more energetic body as you do that. And if you do, just really allow that and let that in. At some point, maybe we'll do a wheel where we focus on the coarse body, and then we bring our awareness to the subtle body. So that would be a further refinement of it. When we come to, in the language of the Wheel of Awareness, what's called mental activity or mental formation, we're really experiencing all the different selves or all the different parts. And so any self or part will be made up of sensations, feelings, images, thoughts, and behaviors. So in the general wheel practice, we're just opening and feeling, becoming aware of whatever feelings or images, thoughts, memories, hopes, fears. And this will add in the body, the sensations. And so sometimes we're just aware of those, but sometimes we can track them back and become aware of what self or what part they're originating from. And sometimes those just sort of come as a whole. So what we're expanding in that third quadrant is really becoming aware of all the different selves or parts. And then in the third part, we also can watch the dynamic interplay of the mental formations as they arise and fall away. So we're watching the different selves or parts inside, how they'll jostle to come, no, me, I want to be here first, I'm hungry. So the little hungry child is coming in, or the critic's coming in and saying, oh no, you don't have enough time for that. Or maybe you're aware of like that your inner chef or chefess coming in to cook the meal, because we can think of those different selves. what we would call persona. We can think of those different aspects as different selves, as the energy of our life force coming through these different patterns and capacities and potentialities in our nervous system to form these different selves. And then when we do in the third quadrant, awareness of awareness, we'll switch that for bringing awareness to high self, because high self is really a personified manifestation of the larger field of infinity that we can form a personal relationship with. And then when we go in the fourth quadrant to the awareness of relationships, where we bring that quality of loving kindness to each part, we're going to really, when I bring that, instead of bringing loving awareness to myself, I bring it to myself, right? So we break it down that way. And when we bring it to others, we realize that others are also a multivalent symphony of selves too. So if there's something that irritates us about another, we realize that's a self or a part of them too. And then when we bring it to the world, we'll bring it to all the different selves, inside, outside, on all the levels. And then we return to the breath at the end. So we'll just start with our wheel practice. So make yourself comfortable, and then we'll have time to really share and see how, again, we relate this practice to our spiritual and psychological work and to SoulWork if that's one of our backgrounds. So as I talk, just using my voice as a guide, you can move faster or slower if you find your own guidance coming through. And if you need to shift or move to allow yourself to be more comfortable, please allow yourself to do that. So begin by bringing your attention, and as we modify this to the wheel, we're bringing that quality of loving attention, of curiosity to the breath, to really experiencing the wave of your breath as it flows in and out of your body self. But this quality of loving, compassionate awareness to your breath flowing in and out, it's almost like you're that small child, and for the first time you become aware of your breath, and it's like this amazing experience. We're approaching the breath from that quality of beginner's mind, fresh, alive. And really feel the wonder of that breath. Anything that feels good, pleasurable, it can be so nice to just feel your breath flowing in and out. And if there are any selves or parts that are active, invite them to join you in breathing in and out, or just inviting them to step aside for right now. Right now, there's nothing to do, nowhere to go. We're as safe as we can be. We're just focusing on our breath flowing in and out. And you might even allow a smile, that loving smile, just smiling at this life force, this life energy. And as you breathe in, just know that you're charging, bringing life energy in. And as you breathe out, that you're releasing and letting go. And just invite any selves that are present or in the background or foreground to feel that breath as sort of being held in your arms and just gently rocked. It's so soothing and dependable to feel your breath flowing in and out, but allowing any selves to be held in your arms and rocked. You might even, as you breathe in and out, allow a gentle rocking motion, but you're rocking, you're holding, you're caring for all the different selves who are there, especially for your body self. And knowing that if you want it sometime, you can on your own just stay with this practice of rocking, breathing in and out, holding all the different selves. You could do this for 10 minutes, a half hour a day. But we'll invite them to just stay with us because the breath will still be there in the background as we move our awareness through to the outer world through the senses. And we begin allowing the eyes to stay closed because that allows us to experience the other senses. Because the sense of vision so overwhelms, but we allow ourselves to bring our loving awareness. As conscious self, you're bringing your loving awareness to hearing and allowing sound to fill experience. And you can invite any other cells, any other parts or complexes to listen with you to the sounds around you. Perhaps it's just the sound of quiet in the room you're in. Really allowing that soul child self, that innocent child aspect, to invite their wonder in, their curiosity, to just be aware of sound. It's something we take for granted, that many cells parts take for granted, but right now, the aliveness in sound or the sound of silence. It's amazing we can hear. And then inviting our awareness, this loving attention, to come to the sense of touch. It's another way we meet the outer world, the way we touch our clothes, skin, chair, air. We can touch the warmth of the sun. And if that's hard, you could just take your hand gently and, rub it on the fabric of the chair around you. But this is a way, it's one of the first ways you can feel those little infant and toddler selves. It's such a powerful way we begin to explore the world through touch. And then we bring our awareness to the sense of smell, allowing fragrance to fill awareness, but inviting all the cells to smell with us, to feel the wonder of smell, of fragrance, as fragrance fills your awareness as conscious self. And if there are any selves that are busy or distracting, invite them to join you or to just step aside, letting them know right now our intention is to open to the sense of smell, to allow fragrance to fill awareness. And fragrance goes to the deep areas of the brain. There's a more direct circuit, so it can bring back and evoke all sorts of memories and reflections from different cells and parts. And then with loving awareness, we bring this attention to the sense of taste. And perhaps it's just feeling your tongue, your mouth, your saliva, or you could even imagine your favorite dessert or biting into a lemon, or but really allowing that sense of taste to fill awareness. And as you bring your awareness to each sense, you may even feel in the background different cells that have a particular relationship with a sense, just inviting them to sense with you the sense of taste. Anything they want to share, they can just gently share through thoughts or memories. allowing taste to fill awareness. And then you can allow your eyes to be open or closed as we open to the sense of sight. But here we're really allowing light to fill awareness. Letting all the selves to see with you through the eyes of body self. And as we saw in that somatosensory map of the brain, the updated one, there are always integration areas in between each location. So we're taking a moment to just bring our awareness to all the senses. As they say, lose your mind, come to your senses. Just opening to the richness of all the senses right now. One may predominate or they may flow in and out, but bringing your awareness, opening your awareness to all the senses. Inviting all the selves to just enjoy this immersion in the world of the senses. You can allow your eyes, if they're open, to go to soft focus, otherwise closing, going back in again, following that wave of your breath flowing in and out. As we move to the body, the awareness of this body self. And as we move into the body, if anything comes up or a self that feels uncomfortable or distressed, you can ask that self to step aside, or if needed, you can just break off from the exploration and go to that pleasant, someplace that's pleasant. Imagine for a moment a place of refuge, a safe place where you were held and nourished, or in a dream or in your life. Just imagine that for a moment, knowing that you can go there at any time and invite any self that needs to go there. Because sometimes being in the body is such a joy. Sometimes being in the body was, you know, scary. We can hold the selves that are scared, but if they get too scared, we can go to that safe place, or just opening your eyes and coming to the room you're in. And otherwise, as you're ready, bringing your awareness to all the sensations of the muscles and the bones. It's like, wow, I have this body self, but especially the sensations of your muscles and bones in the face. And if it helps you, you can always touch or caress your face, or you can move your face a little bit, or you can just allow your awareness and the breath to flow in and out of your face. Whatever way helps you settle into the richness of all the sensations in your face, especially the ones that feel pleasant or good. And here it can be very nice to put that loving smile. Almost smiling at all the faces of all the different selves, all the different ages you've gone through, all the self with each developmental stage, just smiling lovingly at the face or the faces. And then bringing your awareness to the top and back and sides of your head. And this loving awareness, this loving smile. Imagine that infant when they first went, oh my, I sort of feel and have a head. And this loving attention to your neck and shoulders. Again, you can just imagine bringing your awareness and your attention, your love to them, or you can move or massage them, whatever helps you really bring your loving attention to this felt physical sense of your neck and shoulders. And then to your upper arms and your elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, fingers. Again, bringing this loving awareness to this joy and marvel in sitting still or gently touching them or letting them move, however it helps you really experience from the inside out your arms. And again, the wonder and miracle of these arms that we have. How are we here? How are these arms here? How can they move? It's like, wow, just feeling the wonder of that. This loving awareness towards the arms of body self. And then moving your loving attention as conscious self to your torso, the torso of body self, with your upper and lower spine, your ribs, your abdomen muscles. It's feeling the wonder of your torso. And then your pelvis and pelvic floor, just dropping, opening. Perhaps if the breath goes into the belly, you can feel it coming in to your abdomen, your lower abdomen, pelvis, pelvic floor. Inviting all the cells into this exploration, or any ones to step aside that need to step aside. And then bringing this loving awareness, feeling from the inside out, all your muscles and bones in the upper legs, knees, calves, shins, ankles, ball, toe, arch, all your legs, to all the different parts of your legs. Really bringing this loving awareness. Again, you can gently touch or massage them or move them, or just letting your breath and your loving awareness come to the legs of your body self. Really being thankful as they have helped on that physical level move you through the path of your life. You could even talk and just say thanks so much for all your support. And then bringing your attention back into your abdomen as we begin to explore and give thanks for our whole digestive system, starting in the abdomen with our small and large intestine, and perhaps adding in the liver, spleen, pancreas, gallbladder, but just giving thanks, sensing deep inside to the whole digestive system, starting with the stomach, this important, crucial aspect to our lives of body self. And then to the stomach, a little higher. The wonder of the body self, where the food comes in, it starts to be broken down, starts to be digested. Perhaps as you do this, you can feel different selves thinking about their favorite foods or good digestion, or perhaps they've not digestion hasn't always been easy, but really just bringing your awareness to your stomach, the physical sensed aspect of body self. And then to your esophagus, the swallowing tube that runs from the mouth down to the stomach. Sometimes that can be hard to sense in or imagine sensing in. So you can just swallow or take a sip of water. And you can feel that in your core going down. Just take a moment to just put your whole digestive system from the mouth all the way through the esophagus, stomach, intestines, all the way out your anus, just feeling that whole digestive system, which is so deep in the body self, so deep in the core sense of self. Smiling, giving thanks. And then bringing your awareness to our respiratory system of body self, starting with the nose. Letting your loving awareness as conscious self to come back to the sinuses, the top of the nasal cavity, going down into the back of the upper throat, the lower throat. Your awareness coming down into the main bronchus and all the breathing tubes as they become more and more refined, and then ending in all those millions of little balloons, little alveolar sacs at the bottom. Really feeling the wonder of their breath, of the breath, of the wave of the breath flowing in and out of the temple of body self. Then bringing your loving attention and awareness to your physical heart, a little on the left side of your chest and in, working so hard, and perhaps you even can feel its pulsations and you can feel your whole cardiovascular system throughout your whole body. Another crucial aspect of body self. Perhaps putting a hand over your heart area, but really giving thanks, feeling bringing your loving awareness to your heart that works so hard to sustain your life every moment of the day and night. You can even say thanks, knowing that in a SoulWork session, you can always have dialogues with the body self or different parts of the body self. But for today, we're just bringing our loving awareness and saying thanks. And then take a moment to move back to that integration again as we bring our loving awareness to all the different aspects of body self, all the organ systems, the muscles, the bones, all the different parts, bringing them together to this simple sense of presence of embodied whole. And taking a few moments to allow your breath to flow in and out of all the body self, paying sort of equal loving attention as your breath sweeps down the front as you breathe in, and charging and bringing life energy into all the body self. As you breathe out, sweeping up, releasing, letting go, charging, releasing, allowing your nervous system to come into balance. Take a moment to really give thanks for your nervous system of body self, which underlies or which conscious self filters through, feeling the brain and the nerves that go through the whole of the body, outlining your whole form. Really breathing in and out, giving thanks for your whole nervous system. You can add in the endocrine system, the immune system, really all the wonders of body self, breathing, giving thanks. And again, expanding to feel your whole body self, giving thanks for all the aspects inside and out. And just inviting body self to join you as you bring your awareness and attention to the next quadrant, which are the mental formations. You think that it was all the images, feelings, thoughts, memories, hopes, fears. And as those arise and fall away, they're like clouds in the sky. And sometimes we can see in a cloud, oh, that looks like a child self. That looks like a protective self. That looks like a masculine or solar self, or a doctor teacher self, or a seeker self, or the chef or chefess self. Sometimes they coalesce into patterns, but inviting in, becoming receptive to all the mental activity that comes and arises, and really being open to how you experience them as different selves, complexes, different parts in the symphony of your inner selves. And we're opening, bringing awareness to all the selves that are inside through their sensations, images, thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Just opening and becoming receptive to feeling your inner life, the mental formations, all the different selves. Really giving them thanks. You can thank them, letting them know you can come back and have discussions and then meet them more fully. But right now, you're just inviting all the aspects of them and them into this circle inside in your heart, just to be there. You can watch them arise, fall away, come and go, like clouds in the sky. Your whole inner family. And you can stay with that, or I invite you when you're ready to bring your awareness. In the wheel, we would have done awareness to awareness, but here we're bringing our awareness to high self, just holding that possibility of this larger energy, this larger self that we can think of as our inner guidance. You can think of it as an animal ally, or as may come in the form of a wise being, or perhaps we just feel it. Some people see, some people feel, but really opening as you turn awareness towards awareness, allowing it to come in the form of high self. In spiritual terms, we might say the angel of your being. For a time of communion, guidance, dialogue, but here we're just opening for this time of communion. To just bring your awareness, opening, asking high self to just come into your heart, into your awareness, so you and all these other selves can just be together, sit together, or dance or play together. Really with a focus on high self. And the outer world distracts, or different parts distract, just gently bringing your loving attention of conscious self back to high self. And you can stay with that, or if you wish, you can move on as we bring our awareness to the field of relationships and bringing this quality of loving kindness. But begin by, you can repeat silently, or you can just resonate with my words. May all my inner selves be happy. Breathing that in, saying that to all your inner selves. May each of you be happy. May all my inner selves be healthy. You can say that as a group, or you can say that individually to each one. May you be healthy, letting them know you're going to work to help them be healthy. May all my inner selves be safe. Letting them know that they may not have been at safe at certain points in your life or in the future, but you're going to be there to work with them to help them be as safe as possible. And you'll bring in all the resources you need, high self, other resources. Let them know you're going to help them be safe. And you'll be with them through thick and thin. And may all my inner selves flourish. Let them know you're going to tend to each and you're going to help each one flourish in their own way. Inviting them to be with you, with high self, with the breath flowing in and out, as in the sacred space of your heart and the glance of your heart, just beginning to invite in outer selves, perhaps starting with all of us gathered here in this Zoom temple, and people who may be geographically close to you, that expand out to neighbors, acquaintances, friends, family. Expanding out to all those people in the city or town you live in or near. Letting that expand further out into the whole bioregion or watershed you live in. All the people living there. All of North American continent, the hundreds of millions of people living their lives, trying to be happy. So all the oceans and islands and continents, all the 8 billion people. Remember, your heart is as vast as the universe. And then holding in the glance of the heart, all life on our precious earth. And from this place, may all living beings and all their inner selves be happy. May all living beings and all their inner selves be healthy. May all living beings and all their inner selves be safe. And may all living beings and all their inner selves flourish. And then we brought that blessing and our loving attention to all the inner selves inside and all the selves outside. We can think of ourselves as this constellation that forms the me, what you think of as you, and all that's outside is the we. And oftentimes we just focus on the me or the we, and here we're bringing the loving awareness of conscious self to encompass everything in balance. May we be happy and have joyous and peaceful hearts. May we be healthy and have bodies with strength and resilience. May we be safe, protected from inner and outer harm. And may we flourish and unfold for our highest good. And then bringing your awareness back to your breath, flowing in and out as you're ready to the comfortable wave of your breath. Inviting all the different cells and parts to enjoy this breath, coming together in this coherent unity at the moment. Breathing in and out. All are welcome here. You can rest in that comforting wave of the breath. Imagine the breath back to that rocking, holding all the cells gently in the wave of your breath. And when you're ready, taking a deep breath, bringing our wheel of awareness to a close for today, and then taking a moment to just reflect, either in the silence on your journey, or if there's something you wish to write or draw, you can do that. So I'd love to hear how you were bringing this all together. It was a lot. The first two, just to learn the wheel, which many of us have a familiarity with. But now as we're beginning to relate it to our inner work even more, to parts work or complexes or different selves, or, whether it's SoulWork or internal family systems or voice dialogue, or Federn, who was a contemporary of Freud, said, who developed ego state therapy, I do group therapy with an individual, which I thought was such a lovely, lovely statement. So I'd love to hear, as I'm stretching to bring the wheel and to SoulWork, because I realize it's such a powerful tool to develop conscious self. And it was interesting because I really didn't come up with anything. I just was holding it, knowing that guidance would come. Little pieces came before the session, but I didn't have a big slideshow like it before, because it's really now more and more about our inner experience. So I'd love to hear any comments or reflections or sharings from you. And remember, if you don't want, just let me know and I will pause it before you share.
Well, I'd like to say thank you. I would say that in trying to work with the wheel, and almost every day, I come to the mental part and I just go, I identify, I fly off, I forget, but today, thank you for giving that frame of a self, the selves that, in coming to that stillness, the table's open, that everybody has their everybody has their 2 cents to throw in, and I haven't been deep into self work, but some of those selves are knocking a little more loudly at my door lately. And so this has been a beautiful frame for holding that, and I think it will help a lot, just in that welcoming of all those parts, and how unique those parts could be to us. Like I'm now looking in my life at my withholder. I've dealt with this part before, but it's the one place where I have control. I don't have to give everything out. I can hold back. So anyway, that's just, something that's come into my awareness and I could give more loving attention to. So thank you.
How beautiful you're coming into, you're separating from or unblending, and then coming in relationship with your withholder, and hopefully developing a friendship and discovering more of who she is and what she's about, and how the two of you can work together. Right. Thank you so much.
I actually similar kind of experience with bringing the selves into Wheel of Awareness practice, I also found that it changed it for me. It really, um, it was like I was so in the practice and also out, it felt like. But then because because it was myself, it was like I was still in, even, and I was able to be like less judgmental, I think, because it was I was framing it as myself, my inner selves, and it really was like helped me to bring it back in, or to just feel like I hadn't left, like I wasn't distracted or like doing it badly or doing it wrong. It really helped, I think, with just like this judgmental part that can kind of make you feel like you're derailed. Um, it was lovely. Thank you.
Well, that's such an interesting reflection from the two of you, that bringing in the selves to that third quadrant is actually, for the two of you, and it may be different for others, easier than just the mental formations or mental activities. It almost gives a way to organize them, to have an experience, and to separate or unblend. That's fascinating. Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Love to hear from anyone else who'd like to share about their experience, because that's how we learn, from listening to our inner selves and our outer friends and community. And you can also type something in the chat box too, if you rather, and I'll read it. But yeah.
Yeah, just really briefly. I had the similar experience of everyone else. And it kind of surprised me, because I, been doing the wheel for a long time. And so this was, at least for me, a new component. And I think when I thought about in the sphere, giving loving kindness to all the selves together, because I'm always giving it out, to everyone, and, then I was like, oh, there's this whole internal world, right? And they need me as much as, like they need equal face time. I love that. In the high self sphere too, I mean, usually I just go into kind of a bliss, just calm space. But this time it was so interesting, like immediately hands with a cup. It's almost like it was a tarot card, and I don't know which one it would be, but popped up, and there was just kind of like force coming down into this cup, but there was as much energy going out from the hands as there was coming down. So there was really a beautiful balance, and experiencing that for me was really special. I mean, special things happen all the time, but that's what popped up for that. So it was really nice. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting. I was just reading something by Jung yesterday, where he said the consciousness and the unconscious, they're equal. We're so consciously oriented, but he said they're equally important. You were just reflecting that, really bringing that love not only outside, but inside. And then we begin to come into balance on a very deep level through these types of practices. Yeah. Yeah.
I could share another thing if no one wants
Sure.
to. I, I also I found the inner selves part actually helping me with like every quadrant the whole time. Um, like inviting whatever inner selves are with you right now to join in enjoying the breath. That was great. And then with the extending, loving kindness out into the whole world. Just when you said, instead of just may all living beings be happy, it was like, may all living beings be happy, and may all their inner selves also be. And it was so nice because I hadn't framed it exactly like that before, but it's like, well, I mean, I have so many inner selves, and everyone on this Zoom has so many inner selves, and we're all kind of feeling that from each other. And like, if you can imagine how complex each individual is, how many selves they each have, and really being like, oh, we all deserve to be safe and happy. That was really helpful.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Mm. I find it's interesting. We begin to become aware that we have inner selves, but especially when we're for those of us in couples relationships, when things sort of come up, then you forget the other person, what they did. It's like, well, that's some part of them that did that. They're this luminous sphere of loving awareness in their core. So it just helps to do that. It's like the whole world. We go from 8 billion people to who knows how many, maybe
Exactly.
8 billion times 52. Dick Schwartz, who developed IFS, at one seminar he shared, he was working with these, all these, they call them parts in their work. And someone said, well, how many are there? He says, I don't know. And this one guy said, well, I was just with a Tibetan guy over there. He said there are 52. It's like, Dick says, well, okay. So we have maybe at least 52 times 8 billion, at the moment. But who knows? It's a mystery. Yeah.
Yeah.
It also depends, as you get in touch with your inner selves, whether you're a lumper or a splitter. I'm more of a lumper, so I'll see sort of like the protective layer and the hurt layer, and some people split those out. It's like, yeah. Anyone else want to share? Yeah, Sushila.
It's very, very important that we have these shares because when I was, the only thing I sort of remember is the awareness of participating in whatever you were guiding. But I couldn't think of anything that seemed, I couldn't remember like points of it. There was nothing extraordinarily sticking out. But the comments that were made reminded me, like when you said that word, that phrase too, that was very illuminating, but I hadn't remembered it. So to hear someone else speak it, how important it is that we share afterwards. So, yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on. I just can't, I can't recall it, but when I hear it, and then the other part too about, the just giving ourselves the awareness of just all that's going on in our internal life is so complex, and just to be loving to it, it just puts a whole nother frame on how to behave. Yeah, it's beautiful.
And it's a little like a dream. SoulWork, it's like a waking dream. And it does, like dreams tend to, so that's why it's nice to reflect and share, because it helps us remember little parts of the dream we just had in the SoulWork. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
So through all the senses and going into the wheel of awareness and through the body, I was, conscious self was very present. And then after that, I don't remember. And there would have been a time when I would have, a part of me would have been too embarrassed to say that. I don't think I was asleep, but maybe I was. But there's less judgment about it. And also a willingness through doing soul work for a few years with you and Yaya, I find that the mental judge, and my name for her is Judge Judy, is she's a lot less, she just goes with the flow, and she's not critical of me not doing it the way I'm supposed to be doing it. And that is an amazing relief, to have less the judgmental part of me be so active all the time. And how things really become so different when I'm feeling a lot less judgment internally,
Mm.
and how that reflects in the outer world for me. So I really love all this inner work, and the wheel of the awareness is the newest one for me. So I am also in gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And you know, sometimes when we go out, we're sort of, sometimes we sort of dissolve. And that's a very beautiful place, you know, where all the cells, it's like they all just relax and we're just there in being, out of which everything arises and falls away. So, you know, sometimes it's a dissociation, sometimes a numbness, sometimes we just relax into being. It's that level, another level of our inner lives. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else want to share before we stop for today? Well, I so appreciate being able to be together and letting this unfold. All our energy together allowed that to unfold. I'm so amazed now whenever I lead a SoulWork, sometimes I have a little bit of an idea, but it has its own life now. That sort of guidance or high self, whatever that energy is, just comes through. And I'm often amazed. It took a long time for that to develop, but I'm often amazed at like, wow, I wouldn't have thought about that, or whoever that part was wouldn't have thought about it, because it comes. And then when we're together, you know, as two or more are gathered in my name, or that Buddha field, that larger field of guidance comes to all of us that is reflected. So I really appreciate all of us being together today. And I hope that you all have a wonderful weekend, or face the challenges that are arising. And yeah, you and all your inner selves. So thanks so much. And I will see you for our last session in this series in 2 weeks.
Okay. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.